The top stories tonight in Y News. Beginning 9 p.m. tonight, portions of Meralco Avenue in Pasig City will be closed to motorists to make way to the Metro Manila subway project. Know the alternative routes for both private and public vehicles alike. Deported Chinese workers will be prohibited from entering the Philippines. The Philippine National Police taps soldiers for crime prevention measures. The government of Indonesia ordered the country's police to identify and punish those responsible for a sporting stadium stampede that killed 125 people after a soccer match. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Monday, October 3rd, 2022. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am Kat Tumaraos. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. First in the news. President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. led the groundbreaking ceremony for a segment of the Metro Manila subway project where he voiced hope about the productive outcomes it would generate. Nel Maribohok reports why.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. believes in the long run, the Metro Manila subway can drive up business opportunities and economic activity. Today, the President officiated the groundbreaking ceremony for the Metro subway projects, Ortigas and Shaw Boulevard stations in Pasig City.
With the improved linkages of key areas and business districts in the Metro, as well as the availability of stalls and other stores in the stations and nearby markets, we can see more business opportunities for entrepreneurs and investors and additional economic activity.
President Marcos Jr. hoped that with the groundbreaking of the 17.7 billion Metro Subway Contract Package 104, Filipinos will soon enjoy the benefits that the project will bring. The President said that once completed, people will be relieved of the risk of commuting.
As we break the ground for this portion of our subway system, we fervently hope to soon enjoy the benefits that it brings to the general public, with accessible designated stations that can cater to a massive volume of passengers. We anticipate helping our people skip the long lines of traffic and even spare themselves from the perils of commuting.
PBBM, on the other hand, encouraged the public to be positive and to take the inconveniences caused by the subway system's construction as a small price to pay for the beneficial results. The entire MMSP, with an approved cost of over 488 billion pesos, is supported by loans from the Japan International Cooperation Agency or JICA. The subway, once operational, will be capable of accommodating more than 519,000 passengers per day, with the goal of reducing travel time from Valenzuela to Bicutan to 45 minutes. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Meralco Avenue in Pasig City will be partially closed at 9 p.m. today. Around 250 meters of road from Capitol Commons to Shaw Boulevard will be closed until 2028 to make way for the Metro Manila subway project. A rerouting plan will be implemented. Public utility jeepneys can go from Captain Henry Javier Street to Danny Flores Street, while modernized jeepneys can go from Doña Julia Vargas Avenue to San Miguel Avenue, while the UV Express vehicles will take either Doña Julia Vargas Avenue or Andra Road to Camino Verde. These roads can also be accessed by private vehicles.
Yung iba medyo kinakabahan po sa traffic dahil sa pagsara ng Meralco Avenue, pero ito naman po ay panandaliang sakripisyo para sa mas maliwanag na kinabukasan, konting sakripisyo po ngayon para sa ginhawa, para sa kaginhawaan pagdating ng bukas.
Maraming salamat.
The House of Representatives assured it will focus on the passage of House Bill number 4488, or the General Appropriation Bill. It will also provide amendments in the proposed budget. Eileen Cerudo will tell us why.
There are department programs with no budget allocation. According to House Minority Leader Representative Manix Dalipe, the House will discuss budget amendments in the small committee to allocate budget for unfunded programs.
Meron kasing mga request yung mga congressman for a particular department or agency. There are some requests for the budget of a particular agency that is to be increased. Namely, mayroong mga request for DSWD, may request for increase for DOLE, Department of Health at yung mga iba. So yun ang mga we will have to consider yung mga amendments na yun.
Several unfunded programs include the additional pension for senior citizens under the Department of Social Welfare and Development. No budget is also allotted for the Libreng Sakay of the Department of Transportation, Cancer Assistance Program of the Department of Health, and the Special Education Program of the Department of Education. Several lawmakers also call on purging the confidential and intelligence funds, calling it unnecessary and excessive. According to Albay 1st District Representative Edsel Lagman, due to the nature of the confidential and intelligence funds, means it cannot be disclosed to the Congress and the public. The lawmaker raised concern that these funds breed corruption. House Minority Leader Manix Dalipe assured there will be no zero budget for the 2023 proposed national budget.
Hindi naman masisiro. We will propose that. The instruction of Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez is to see to it that when we forward it or when we transmit it to the Senate, maayos na lahat.
Meanwhile, the lawmaker also expects the bicameral conference committee of the House and the Senate will begin in November. Eileen Cerudo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Policemen and soldiers may be seen conducting beat patrol as anti-crime buddies sued. Leah Ilagan reports why.
The Philippine National Police wishes to ensure the safety and security of the public during the bare months where human activity is expected to increase. PNP Chief Police General Rodolfo Azurin Jr. said he called Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Bartolome Vicente Bacaro for assistance.
Sabi ko, sir, kung kukulangin kami ng mga tao na madideploy to ensure na medyo magandang ating peace and security, pwede ba na magbigay kayo ng augmentation sa amin? And the Chief of Staff agreed na kung kailangan is you can request from the
Azurin adds the buddy system with AFP officers is a tested patrol strategy. It seeks to prevent petty crimes and to maintain peace and security in the country.
Almost similar. We did that before, I think, during the time ni General Lacson. Body-body yan. May police, may armed forces. Para sa ganun ay magagaydan din yung personnel joining us patrolling with the presence of course, PNP officer.
General Azurin said they will beef up the deployment in the National Capital Region, Central Luzon, Calabar Zone, Cebu, Davao, and Baguio in November. Leah Ilagan, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Indonesian government has ordered the country's police to identify and punish those proven responsible for the stampede in a football stadium last Saturday, which led to the death of 125 people. Deemed as one of the deadliest disasters in the history of football, 323 people were injured as tear gas was fired by officers to quell a pitch invasion. This triggered the stampede. Many were trampled or suffocated. Indonesia's Chief Security Minister Mahfud MD said he has asked the national police to unveil the perpetrators and action should be taken against them. A task force was also formed to investigate on the incident. Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Sandaogo Damiba, Burkina Faso's military leader who was overthrown from his position last Friday, has left the country for Togo on Sunday. The new junta alleged that interim President Damiba was sheltering at a French military base after being thrown, and protesters with torches rushed to the French embassy in Ouagadougou. This act was condemned by the French Foreign Ministry and has denied any involvement with the events. Yesterday, a junta representative announced that Captain Ibrahim Traore has been officially named head of state. This is Burkina Faso's second military coup this year. Damiba stepped down from his position after Traore agreed not to harm or prosecute him and to respect the commitments they already had with the Economic Community of West African States, or ECOWAS. Damiba came into power last January, who promised to control the Islamist insurgency, but Traore said that Damiba had failed due to the worsening situation. The Japanese government has lifted its suspension on the validity of multiple entry visas. In a press statement, the Japanese embassy in Manila announced that multiple entry visas will be honored beginning October 11 at 12 midnight Japan time. Multiple entry visas was temporarily suspended in March 2020 at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. Once suspension is lifted, travelers with multiple entry visas issued before the pandemic can visit Japan. However, for those who obtained their visas during the period of suspension, need to submit a new visa application. Chinese workers who will be deported will be forbidden to enter the Philippines. Dante Amento tells us why.
Department of Justice or DOJ spokesperson Assistant Secretary Miko Clavano clarified that the 59-day grace period to illegal Chinese workers is non-extensible. These Chinese nationals used to work with the Philippine Offshore Gaming Operators or POGO, whose licenses to operate have been cancelled by the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation. Clavano added foreign nationals who are non-compliant will be deported.
Ang effect or consequence naman nun ay hindi sila pwedeng bumalik dito sa ating bansa hanggat hindi malilift ang pangalan nila dun sa watchlist or blacklist.
The government may finish canceling the visas of over 48,000 POGO workers who worked illegally this month.
Ngayon, ang gagawin na lang ng Bureau of Immigration, ika-cancela na lang ang visa ng mga Chinese nationals. And it was determined na ang mga empleyado employed under itong mga kinansela ng mga POGOs ay umabot na sa 48,782. Hindi pa natin alam kung lahat ito ay nandito pa sa bansa natin.
The government decided to cancel their visas rather than deport them because it is a more cost-effective and humanitarian approach.
Dahil kung tayo, ang gobyerno mismo ang magde-deport itong mga Chinese nationals, mahal masyado. We will have to shoulder the flight, have to shoulder the food and accommodation habang nandito pa sila sa bansa. Second, mas humanitarian siya. We will leave it up to the deportees to leave on their own volition, voluntarily, para hindi na tayo mga aresto ng Chinese nationals.
Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Another issue on POGOs. The Department of Justice has revealed the presence of sexually transmitted diseases or STDs among Chinese POGO workers. DOJ spokesperson Attorney Miko Clavano said that 15 to 20 Chinese laborers who were given unrestricted mobility throughout their stay here had already gotten STDs while working for one of the POGO enterprises. He did, however, state categorically that authorities are currently unaware of the true extent of STD infection among Chinese POGO workers. The NBI is set to submit a preliminary report on its investigation into POGO workers allegedly involved in the commission of crimes.
It's really quite sad to say na ang DOJ nakakuha ng iba't ibang reports tungkol dito sa pag-spread ng STD. And as per our reports, we don't know the full extent of it yet. But in the several reports we've gotten dito sa DOJ, may mga cases na 15 to 20 sa isang POGO company ang nagkaroon ng sexually transmitted disease.
Farmers with insured crops and fishermen affected by Super Typhoon Karding can file for indemnity claims with the Philippine Crop Insurance Corporation to be compensated for their losses. Ray Pelayo reports.
The Philippine Crop Insurance Corporation, or PCIC, has estimated 600 million pesos for the indemnification of agricultural areas affected last week by Tropical Cyclone Karding. Around 53,000 farmers, including those funded by the government, may now apply. Fisher folks are also eligible for indemnification, especially if their fishing boat is distracted by the typhoon.
Ang amount po naman ay nakabase ito sa stage ng crop at time of loss. So maaring yung mga rice and corn areas na malapit na po itong i-harvest, malamang mas malaki po yung kanilang amount na makukuha, which is maximum of 20,000 po.
The Department of Agriculture has already recorded the cost of agriculture damage due to the tropical cyclone Karding from Luzon and Western Visayas at 3.12 billion pesos. The majority of the amount comes from rice, which costs about 2 billion pesos and has affected more than 108,000 farmers. PCIC recommended that farmers report any damage to their crops and other agricultural products immediately. This can be done by texting the name, address, insurance coverage, and cost of damage to the following numbers: Cordillera Administrative Region and Region 1, 0910-991-3987. In Region 3, 0945-9615717. In Region 3A, 0943-5317865. And in Region 4A, 0912-867-3792. Ray Pelayo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Department of Education will conduct an investigation into the accident that occurred during a science experiment in a school in Moncayo, Davao de Oro, injuring 3 students. Janice Inhente explains why.
2 of the Awao National High School students in Moncayo, Davao de Oro have been discharged from the hospital and are now in good condition after suffering burns in several parts of their body during a science experiment accident last Thursday. The accident happened at the school's science laboratory, where students conduct their experiment on separating components of salt water solution through evaporation. During the activity, the teacher used baking cups, ethyl alcohol, alcohol stove, and wire gauge, according to DepEd 11 Regional Director Dodong Atilio.
There were 3 alcohol stoves na ginamit during that science experiment. May problema kasi yung may unavailability ng denatured alcohol, dapat sana doon gamitin. Ethyl alcohol instead yung nagamit. So during the process, yung nagkaroon ng problema kasi pumutok yung isang beaker and then it caught fire and then yun ang naging dahilan.
Atilio said the Davao de Oro Schools Division is now inquiring about the possibility that science teacher Melvin Akyatan violated the rules while conducting a science experiment. SDO is now forming a task force to conduct an in-depth investigation into the matter, he added.
Sunod naman doon sa mga eleksyon natin dito sa Awao National High School. Experiment kasi is part of the topic. At ang teacher ay ang na-interview, sabi niya he believes that sa pag-conduct ng experiment na ito, magiging effective yung pagtuturo at magiging effective yung teaching learning process. Yung investigation naman ay ongoing pa sa pagkakayan. We are trying to look at all angles. Kung may pananagutan, then that will be responded to appropriately.
DepEd 11 promised to help injured students with financial and medical assistance, while Awao National High School provides psychosocial first aid to students in the said science experiment. Janice Inhente, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin sees no imminent invasion of Taiwan. but says re-establishing communications between the U.S. and Chinese top military officials is important. Beverly Saison will tell us why.
U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin reiterated that the U.S. wants communication with China to be open and added that his Chinese counterpart, Defense Minister Wei Fenghe, agreed in their recent phone call that open communications is important between the two superpower nations. This after he said that the U.S. sees no imminent invasion of Taiwan by China. However, Austin continued, the U.S. is seeing an increased activity in and around Taiwan by Chinese aircraft and naval vessels, which has become a new normal in the area. The increased military presence had begun with the visit of U.S. House of Representative Nancy Pelosi to Taiwan, which started with a military drill. China halted cooperation with the U.S. in several areas, including communications between high-ranking military officials since then. In response, the U.S. and its allies continued what they call freedom of navigation by sailing through the narrow Taiwan Straits using their Navy warships and said that they will ensure that the Indo-Pacific will remain open for navigation. The narrow strait is often a source of tension in the region. China claims Taiwan as part of its territory and has not ruled out military action to take back the island nation. The United States, on the other hand, is bound by treaty in defense of Taiwan in case of invasion. Beverly Saison, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The government of Haiti reported the country's first cholera deaths in 3 years, an illness that already claimed 10,000 lives in the country over the past decade. Mavian Dog will give us the details live. Maeve?
Kath, at least 8 people who died due to cholera reported by Haiti's government on Sunday came from 2 communities in southern Port-au-Prince and Cité Soleil, where thousands of people are living in unsanitary conditions. Cholera is a diarrheal illness caused by ingesting food or water contaminated with the cholera bacteria, which can lead to either a mild or a severe and life-threatening infection. On top of their living conditions, the lack of fuel and roadblocks due to protests have prevented basic services including medical care and clean water to reach the patients and help fight cholera. The deaths are raising concerns of a potentially fast-spreading scenario as cholera can spread very quickly, according to Haiti's Health Ministry Director General Laura Adrian. Meanwhile, the United Nations is working on an emergency response to the potential outbreak with Haiti's government, and also to inform the population of life-saving action they can take at the household level. Recent history has already shown how cholera is one of the world's worst outbreaks of the preventable disease, after Haiti's last cholera epidemic made more than 850,000 sick in a population of more than 11 million people. Kath?
Thank you, Mavian Dog, for that live report. On the first day of the implementation of the fare hike, the Land Transportation and Franchising and Regulatory Board reported that only 10% of the target public utility vehicles have obtained a copy of the updated fare matrix. JP Nunez reports why.
Warning to public utility vehicle drivers who are implementing base fare increase without the new fare matrix. LTFRB Chairperson Attorney Cheloy Garapil said they could be fined for this violation, which will cost 5,000 pesos according to the resolution.
Ang fare matrix naman, hindi lang naman na binibigay namin yan out of nagkaartehan lang ng LTFRB o gusto lang namin gawin yan. Pero nire-release namin yan, nire-require namin talaga yan as a protection na rin ng ating mga pasahero.
Over 260,000 public utility vehicles in the country have been approved for base fare increase. Only 10% of them have applied for the new fare matrix. This is equivalent to nearly 27,000 PUV units. LTFRB, however, claimed that they were unable to use an online format to speed up the issuance of fare matrices. The agency asserts that it is more practical for drivers to submit their applications and requirements through their physical offices.
Yung iba naman nagreklamo, ayaw nila ng online. Like yung sa NCR, ang dami ng application na nasabi na dapat in-person na lang yung application. So, magsabit na lang sila, ma'am, hindi naman ganun katagal maghintay. Tsaka konti lang naman requirements na hiningi natin.
According to the LTFRB, the newly approved provisional fare increases for public transportation vehicles will be the final decision made this year to address the petitions of various transportation groups. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Kasang Bahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the pandemic caused by coronavirus, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with the word giving glory to God from the book of Colossians chapter 3 verse 23. It says, "And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily as to the Lord, and not unto man." And those are the reasons behind the news, October 3, 2022. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Kat Dumaraos reporting live from Bangkok, Thailand. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. We serve the people, we give glory to God.